ሰላም እንደምን አላችሁ? Very warm greetings to you. I have brought you the 7th chapter of Inclusiveness course. This chapter is basically about resource management for inclusion, and we do have two important things here. The first is about resource, and the second is about management. Now, በእነኚህ ውስጥ እንግዲህ ምን አይነት resources human resource ነው, material resource ነው, what economic resources are very important and good inputs for exercising inclusion and implementing it across a diversified context and situation where people are working, living and learning. እና እነዚህን ግምት ውስጥ አስገብተን ስናነሳ ኢንክሉዥን ያለ ሪሶርስ ምንም ነው። And inclusion demands resources to meet the needs of all persons of communities and to facilitate equal participants in all spheres of life. ይሄ በየትኛውም አይነት የህይወት እና የኑሮ ሁኔታ ውስጥ እኩል ተሳትፎን ፋሲሊቴት የሚያደርግ ለሁሉም የማህበረሰብ ክፍል ተደራሽ የሆነን ሁኔታ መፍጠርን ይፈልጋል። We need to adapt and modify our environment to all people be accessible. Adapt ማድረግ modify ማድረግ ማስተካከል መለወጥን እንደማለት ነው። Inclusion refers to the process of providing all necessary services according to the needs of diverse population. And የተለያዩ ፍላጎቶች ይኖራሉ። እነኛም ፍላጎቶች አድሬስ ሊያደርግ የሚችል አይነት ፕላትፎርም የሚችል አይነት ኮንዲሽን ሲቹዌሽን ኢንቫይሮንመንት መፍጠር ነው። and bring support services instead of mobilizing resources in a separate setting. We shouldn't just hoard resources. እዛ ወስደን ሆርድ ብናደርግ it is useless. And inclusion assumes that the best provision for all according to their need and potential regular schools in the workplace and in the community. So best provision for all should be there in line with what? According to or in line with the need and potential. ፍላጎትና አቅምን ማዕከል ያደረገ አቅርቦት መፍጠር ጥሩ ነው። So when it becomes need based, things become smooth. Population with a wide range of diversities such as disabilities, cultural and linguistic minorities and vulnerabilities, academic abilities and behavioral needs are represented in inclusive environments. So there is a wide range of diversity. እነዚህ wide range of diversities, they become a means for accommodating different demands and desires. እዚህ ሰፊ ብዙ ፍላጎቶች ባሉ ቁጥር ሰፊ ኮንዲሽን ኮንቴክስት እና ሰፊ አቅርቦት ሁኔታዎች መኖር መቻል አለባቸው። Provision of resources, the resource should be considered for persons with disabilities in the workplace. የስራ ቦታ የማህበረሰባዊ ግንኙነቶች ውስጥ የመዝናኛ ቦታዎች ሆቴሎችን ጨምሮ ሌሎች አገልግሎት መስጫ ተቋማት ትምህርት ቤቶች እነዚህ ሁሉ they should just be considered taken into consideration to help persons with disabilities to feel comfortable, secure and work at their independent and team activities. Comfortable እንዲሆኑ ምቾት ተሰምቷቸው ስራዎቻቸውን እንዲሰሩ ምቾት ተሰምቷቸው ብቻ ሳይሆን ምቾትም ደህንነትም ተሰምቷቸው የመኖሪያና የመስሪያ የመማሪያ ቦታዎች ላይ convenient and suitable condition መፍጠር ነው። Available resources, those meet their needs can help persons with disabilities move toward success. So የሚፈልጉት ዲዛይር ላይ ህልሜ ብለው የሚያስቡት ላይ ግብና ራዕያቸው ላይ ያሉ ነገሮችን ያማከለ ስራ መስራትን ይፈልጋል ወይም ይጠብቅብናል ማለት ነው። ይሄ አንዱ የሪሶርስ አቬይላቢሊቲን ሴኩር ማድረግ ሪሶርስ ሞቢላይዝ ማድረግ ብቻ ሳይሆን accessibility must be there also. And resources for school children, ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ ላሉ ልጆች ሊቀርቡ የሚችሉ እዚህ ጋር የምትመለከቷቸው የተለያዩ የንግግር የማዳመጫ የመንቀሳቀሻ አሁን ይሄ ኬን ነው እዚህ ጋር ዊልቸር የሚሆኑ እነዚህ ሁሉ they should be just considered. All concerned bodies የሚመለከታቸው አካላት ሁሉ should be inclusive in their planning, budgeting and taking action for the education of persons with disabilities. ስለዚህ እቅድ በጀት እና ውሳኔዎች ላይ ያንን ያማከለ ስራ መስራትን ይሻል ማለት ነው። In the school settings, resource rooms are very important. ትምህርት ቤቶች ሪሶርስ ሩም አላቸው። pedagogical centers and resource provision areas are so key. ስለዚህ ፍላጎቶቻቸውን ማዕከል ያደረገ የትኛውም አይነት ሁኔታ ውስጥ ለመማር፣ ለመስራት፣ ለመኖር የሚያስችሏቸውን ሁኔታዎች ለማምጣት እንዲያስችል እቅድ፣ በጀት እና ድርጊት ላይ እነዚህን መንደፍ፣ ቀድሞ ፕሪቪው መስራት አስተዋጽኦ ከፍ ያለ ይሆናል ነው ኢምፕሊኬሽኑ። እዚህ ፕሮቪዥን ኦፍ ሪሶርስ አለን። የሀብት ወይም የቁሳቁስ እና ሌሎች የሰው ሀብትን የሰለጠነ የሰው ሀብትን ጨምሮ አቅርቦትን ነው የምናየው። ስኩል ቤዝድ ሪሶርስ ሩም ምን አይነት መልክ አለው? ስኩል ቤዝድ ሪሶርስ ሩም የሚባሉት ለምሳሌ እንደ ፔዳጎጂካል ሴንተር ቲቺንግ ኤዶች ናቸው። ቲቺንግ ኤድስ አር ዜር። So the resource room is a classroom where special education program can be delivered. The special education program can be provided for students with disability and learning difficulty. So those resource rooms will just be very helpful for making the ease of the academic engagement of the students with disability. ባለፈው አንደኛው ቪዲዮ ላይ ሶስተኛው ቪዲዮ ላይ ነው አንስቼላችሁ የነበረው የኬኔዲ ላይብራሪ ውስጥ ያለ የአይነ ስውራን ማንበቢያ ክፍል አለ ብዬ አውርቻችሁ እንደነበረው። እነኛ እንግዲህ ሪሶርስ ሩም ናቸው። ለምሳሌ ኮምፒውተር፣ በንክኪ እንትን የሚባሉ የብሬል መጽሐፍት እነኚህ ሪሶርስ ሩም ውስጥ ይቀመጡና በሚፈለጉና በሚያስፈልጉ ጊዜ አገልግሎት ላይ እንዲውሉ ለሚፈልጉት ልዩ ፍላጎት ላላቸው ተማሪዎች ወይም ላላቸው ተገልጋዮች ይቀርባሉ ማለት ነው። It's for those students who belong to a regular class but need some special instruction as additional way of backing up or supporting in an individualized or small group setting for a portion of the day. And it is typically a large room in the main school building with lots of facilities for children with special needs. Large room that accommodates, that just brings different platforms, different materials to be used, different teaching aids and visual aids, hearing aids. The list goes as such based on the type of the nature of the disability or the impairment. And this program includes remedial, compensatory and developmental instruction, which is provided in small groups for usually or often 3 to 5 hours per week. These things can be done, and it is the availability of the school-based resource room that can bring such a working arena or a working situation and making resources to be available for the users. Students may be provided direct services in the classroom within a given classroom. For example, we just rearrange a location. Indirect services can also be provided in the student through consultation with the general education teachers to support in adjusting the learning environment or modifying the instructional methods. የማስተማር ስነ ዘዴን የመማሪያ አካባቢን በተለየ መንገድ የማስተካከያ ሁኔታዎች ሊሰሩ ይችላሉ። እነኛ የማስተካከያ ሁኔታዎች ስቲል ልጆቹን መደበኛ የሆነ የመማሪያ ክፍል ውስጥ ሆነውም ግን ደግሞ ተጨማሪ የሆኑ ወይም ደግሞ ልዩ የሆነ ያንን የኢምፔርመንቱ ሁኔታ አግዷቸው እንዳይቀሩ የሚያደርግ ኮምፐንሴት የሚያደርግ ለምሳሌ ሃርድ ኦፍ ሂሪንግ ያለው ከሆነ የሚቀመጥበትን ቦታ ልናስተካክል እንችላለን። ቪዥዋል ጋር የሚያያዝ ከሆነም እንደዛው። ስለዚህ ሲቲንግ አሬንጅመንት or it may be modification of the instructional setting within a given classroom እነኚህ they are part of the modifications that we can bring in the school-based resource room. When additional support is appropriate to meet the student's needs, the student can receive the pull-out program. And this form of pull-out system or pull-out program, where a child attends a session in the resource room during the life period of the day, such as singing and playing games, physical training, receives individual help in the weak area of learning, such as reading or writing, etc. And that's going to be another special package for the learner in order to maximize his or her ability to go for further retention. Methods and materials are adapted, not adopted, adapted. So the adopt and adapt ባለፈው አንስቻለሁ. Methods and materials are adapted to students' learning styles, የመማር ስነ ዘዴን, and characteristics using multi-sensory and other specialized approach. Multi-sensory approach meaning different sensory reception processes, the sensory receptors such as the visual, the auditory, the tactile, and the like can be used in different ways, and adaptation of the methods and materials in order to fit such learning style can make students and the persons with disabilities to learn in the utmost of their desire and their capability. ሌላኛው ልናነሳ የሚገባው ከቁሳዊ ከሆኑ አቅርቦቶች ባሻገር ሂውማን ሪሶርስ አት ስኩል የሚለውን ማንሳት አለብን። የሰው ኃይል አቅርቦት ምን አይነት ባለሙያዎች ምን አይነት የሰው ኃይል ነው እነኛ ቦታዎች ላይ የተሻለ ድጋፎችን ሊያደርግ የሚችለው የሚለውን ማንሳት እንችላለን። ለምሳሌ ሳይን ላንጉዌጅ ኢንተርፕሬተር የምልክት ቋንቋዎች፣ ብሬል ስፔሻሊስት ብሬል ምንም እንኳ ብሬሉን የሚጠቀሙት ለምሳሌ አይነ ስውራን ቢሆኑ ግን ደግሞ የአይነ ስውርነት የሌላቸው ወይም ማየት የሚችሉትን ቢሆን ቢችሉ ኢዝሊ ኮሚኒኬት ለማድረግ ያስችላል። በማንበብና በመጻፉ ሊደረግ የሚችለውን ማየት አይነ ስውሩም ማየት የሚችለውም እንዲግባቡ ይረዳቸዋል። ሌላው ሞቢሊቲ ኤንድ ኦሪየንቴሽን ኤክስፐርትስ እነዚህ ደግሞ የአካባቢያዊ የሆኑ ማስተካከያዎችን ለማድረግ እንዲችሉ ያግዛል። ሞቢሊቲ ኤንድ ኦሪየንቴሽን ኤክስፐርት፣ ስፔሻል ኒድስ ኤጁኬተርስ፣ ስፒች ኤንድ ላንጉዌጅ ቴራፒስት፣ ፊዚዮቴራፒስት ወይም ወጌሻዎች፣ ቢሄቪራል ቴራፒስት ወይም የስነ ባህሪ ባለሙያዎች የምክክር ሁኔታዎችን ለማዘጋጀት ስለሚችሉ እነዚህ ባለሙያዎች ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ መኖራቸው ልዩ ፍላጎት ያላቸው ለምሳሌ ከንግግርና ተግባቦት እክል ጋር የተያያዘ ችግር የገጠመውን ሰው ስፒች ኤንድ ላንጉዌጅ ቴራፒስቶች ሊረዱ ይችላሉ። የልዩ ፍላጎት ትምህርት ባለሙያዎች ጠቅላላ አካባቢያዊ ሁኔታውን በምርምር በታገዘ ሁኔታ ማስተካከያዎች እንዲደረጉ ምክረ ሀሳቦችን ሊሰጡ ይችላሉ። የእንቅስቃሴ ሁኔታዎች ቅድም አንስቻለሁኝ። ወጌሻ ልዩ ችሎታ ያላቸው እና የሰለጠኑ ባለሙያዎችም እንደዛው አካባቢ ሁኔታዎችን ለአጋዥ እንዲሆኑ አስተዋጽኦ አለው ነው። ሌላው ስኩል ቤዝድ ማቴሪያል ሪሶርስስ ቅድም ሂውማን ሪሶርስ ያየነው ማቴሪያል ሪሶርስ ለምሳሌ ኤልሲዲ፣ ስማርት ቦርድ፣ ኢቻርት፣ ቫሪየስ ማግኒፋይንግ ሌንስስ ብቻ ሳይሆን ለምሳሌ እንደ ሂሪንግ ኤድ ከዚህ በፊት ሳነሳ እንደነበረው ኦዲዮሜትር እዚህ ጋር አለ። ሚኒፋይንግ ኤንድ ማግኒፋይንግ ሮል እንዲጫወት የሚያደርጉ ዲቫይስስ አሉ። ይሄ ማቴሪያል ሪሶርስ ውስጥ የሚጠቀስ ነው። ስሌት ኤንድ ስታይልስ፣ ፐርኪንስ ብሬል ራይተር፣ ዋይት ኬን ነጫንትን አለች። በሷ በዋይት ኬን ሞቢሊቲን ይዛ ያደርጋል። እነዚህ እንግዲህ ፕሮቪዥንስ አሉ ማቴሪያል አቅርቦቶች ቁሳቁስ ዋይት ኬን፣ ብላይንድ ፎልደር፣ ቱኒንግ ፎርክ፣ ኦዲዮሜትር፣ ሂሪንግ ኤድስ ቅድም አውርቻለሁ። ስለዚህ ስለ ሂሪንግ ኤድ sign language books and videos, various instructional videos related to this unit, and braille atlases, braille atlas ማፖችን እንዲያነቡ እንዲለማመዱባቸው የሚያደርግ አይነት እድል ስለሚሰጥ ማለት ነው። እነዚህ ስኩል ቤዝድ ሪሶርስ ናቸው። እንግዲህ እዚህ ውስጥ ደግሞ ስናይ ሞልድድ ፕላስቲክ ኤንድ dissected and undissected relief maps, relief globes, landform model, abacus, raised clock faces, geometric area and volume aids, the list goes. እዚህ ላይ የምትመለከቷቸው braille rulers, raised line and checkbox, signature guide, longhand writing kit, script letter sheets and boards, talking calculator, closed circuit television, computer software for various students with special needs, orthoses and prostheses. These are very related with motor disorders and physical disability, environmental accessibilities, ramps ደረጃዎች ላይ የሚሰሩ ነገሮችን ይመለከታል። ኤሌቬተርስ፣ አሳንሰሮች፣ ዊልቸርስ all these could facilitate the process in the instruction at school and in the scenario where persons with disabilities belong. In the accommodations or adjustments that teachers and school personnel make to maximize learning and social well-being of individual students. Before I move to the next topic, በጥያቄ መልክ ማንሳት የምፈልገው ነገር በአካባቢያችሁ ውስጥ ልዩ ፍላጎት ላላቸው ልዩ ፍላጎትና ልዩ ተሰጥኦ ላላቸው ሰዎች ተብሎ የተዘጋጁ ነገሮች ካሉ እንድታዩ በዚህ አጋጣሚ ላሳስባችሁና እንደ ቴክ አዌይ just look into your surrounding. Instructional accommodation checklist use multisensory approach. ቅድም ጠቅሻለሁ ስለ multisensory የተለያዩ stimulus የተለያዩ stimuli, different types of stimuli could be received by different sensory receptors and multisensory approach መጠቀም በተለያዩ የአካባቢ እንቅስቃሴዎች ጋር ኮሚኒኬት ለማድረግ ነገሮችን ስለሚያቀል የተሻለ ሪኮመንድ ይደረጋል። use a highly structured format of presentations, graphic organizers, present material in small sequential steps, teach special strategies. The other thing is the review key points frequently, use a buddy reader and note taker. ሰዎች የሚያነቡ ሰዎች የሚጽፉላቸው ሰዎች ለምሳሌ አይነ ስውር ከሆነ የሚያነብለት ሰው ሊሻ ይችላል። ማስታወሻ የሚይዝላቸው እንደዛው። Provide students with outline of notes, use color coding to match materials and concepts. These are important points that are to be accommodated in the instructional process. Reduce visual distractions. Those distractors that could make the attention to be distorted or divided. The distortion or division of attention may make them to fail in detecting the stimulus that is desirable to them and necessary. Sit student close to board, teacher and student helper, away from door or window so that they could be free from any noise. Provide a quiet work area. Allow students to move if needed. Use visual reminders as memory aids. Plus, use teacher-initiated signals for redirecting attention. Highlight sections of text. Provide tape recorder of lectures, such as these lectures are being uploaded through the webinar, through the virtual ways. Give oral and written direction. Speak slowly and clearly. Speak slowly and clearly so that they can just receive. Allow for longer response time. These are very important things that we should exercise. Organization and task completion. Well, keep work area clear. Post assignments, activities were completed in consistent spot. Assign student with notebook organization, ማስታወሻዎች. Use assignment notebook plus extend time to complete assignment. In addition to that, shorten and chunk assignments so that they can become manageable. Give timeline for longer projects. Give specific feedback that are clear and to the point, brief. Provide peer tutoring. Use cooperative learning groups so that they can learn from their friends. Provide structured daily activities. Explain change in rhythm. And in the evaluation, we can explain grading and give rubric. Give specific feedback, as I was just mentioning it earlier. Preview before test. Give frequent quizzes so that you will genuinely know their learning outcome. Orient students to test format. Use clear. ይሄ የቴስት አይነቶችን የጥያቄ አይነቶችን መግለጽን ይመለከታል። use clear uncluttered copy, enlarged print, readable. Make test directions simple, clear, and understandable. Provide ample space, enough space for answers on test. Allow ultimate test response, oral computer. Retest allowed to student. If there is a reader, she should be oriented in advance. Give open note and take home tests. Use alternate forms of evaluation because written evaluation may not be good enough for a person with visual impairment or any other form of impairment. So diversified ways can just help genuinely to look into the change. Reduce or appraisal. Reduce required assignments. Provide proofreading checklist. Accept print and cursive writing. Those are the important points. In addition to what you're looking in the pictorial illustration that I'm using here, there are resources for work, school environment. We were talking about the resources at school, the material resources, the human resources at school, but here at the work area and social environment, human resources, well, special needs educators are very important here also. Sign language interpreters, sighted guide, and other many more assistive devices. Material resources, various magnifying lenses, slate and styles, parking brake writer, white cane, hearing aids, which we were just suggesting and recommending to be used at school setting. Finally, let's just look into sign language books and videos, braille rulers, atlases, signature guide, talking calculator, talking mobile, closed circuit television, computers, and other devices that are meant specific to the type of need that the person, the individual, or the people with disability is in need. And in order for wrapping up this chapter, I shall show you the summary. So far we were talking about the resources. Resources are so crucial to create inclusiveness. Resources are for all human beings. As far as it is inclusion, it is expected to be meant for everyone, regardless of the need that she has. So diversity አድሬስ የሚያደርግ አይነት ሪሶርስ ነው መፍጠር ያለብን። This was why we were advocating time and again the universal design. Through the attention, if much given for persons with disabilities, all individuals can grow and develop if they are accessed and provided, primarily understanding the diverse needs of all people. Once again, all የሚለውን አሁንም ቦልድ ነው የምናደርገው is very important to plan for our resources. መሀል ላይ የቪዲዮ መሀል ላይ ስናነሳ እንደነበረው planning, budgeting, and taking actions እንል ነበረ, if you remember. So during the planning, we should think of the resources that are needed. Incorporating the communication style channels of diverse population is vital. How should we communicate? Facial expressions, verbal ways of expressions, or visual ways. Whatever is needed, those resources should be mobilized and utilized accordingly. Creating equal opportunities and access to equal growth and development is necessary. And considering and encouraging different perspectives using the provided resource is important to celebrate diversity. Often, whenever we talk of diversity, inclusion, etc., we need to think of the equality, equity, and a platform which is meant for all. If we neglect human and material resources to create inclusiveness, we remain with our poverty ever. ይህንን ነጥብ በዋናነት እንደ ማሰሪያ ሀሳብ እንይዛለን። ምክንያቱም የሰው ኃይልና ቁሳዊ ሀብቶችን መጠቀም ሳንችል ስንቀር ወይም ችላ ካልን ስቲል ኑሮውን ካልተጠቀምናቸው በድህነቱ ውስጥ እንዳለን ይቆጠራል። ምክንያቱም we are still deprived of using the things that are necessary to be used, the materials that are with us but not used. ይህንን ነው እንግዲህ ፋይናሊ ልል የምችለው። ቪዲዮዎች ወዲያው እንዲደርሷችሁ ሁሌም እንደምለው መዝጊያዎቼ ላይ ሰብስክራይብ ማድረጋችሁ፣ ላይክ፣ ሼር ማድረጉ ወዲያው የቪዲዮዎች የሌክቸር ቪዲዮዎች ተሰርተው አፕሎድ ሲደረጉ ቶሎ እንዲደርሷችሁ ይረዳልና stay tuned. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much. Chapter 7 is over and chapter 8 will be the last chapter of the course Inclusiveness, and it will be made ready for you in the near future. Thank you for attending, and I will